Topuria back to top 15 pound for pound. For me, it's easier to fight Topuria than Oliveira.
Wait,
for my
I
style.
don't understand that. I don't understand that, Arman. Like, how can you say that?
Because I like to take down people, you know. When you take down Charles Oliveira, he still can like choke you or some like do some mission.
He almost had
but
you. He almost had
yeah, but Topuria is gonna try to get up, and then you can like just go like 1,000 times to the taking down because there is no problems on the ground.
Well, that Bryce Mitchell fight that you were speaking about, he won that fight by submission.
Maybe he's a good guy, but not the best fighter.
Understand how anyone in this weight class can say that they should get a title shot over Arman Tsarukyan. He was the #1 contender for the last year. He was in line to fight for the belt in Los Angeles, and then it didn't happen. It was because his back went out, right? Some people were saying it was a weight issue. Well, today he stepped on the scale as a backup fighter and looked in phenomenal shape. It just feels like Arman Tsarukyan should be next.
Has issued a stern warning to Ilia Topuria ahead of their upcoming clash. Confident in his abilities, Arman believes his well-rounded arsenal and dominant wrestling will be enough to take down Ilia. He's determined to prove that Topuria hasn't earned the hype surrounding him and that his own skill level is far superior. Arman Tsarukyan spoke about his potential showdown with Ilia Topuria, emphasizing that he won't stick to just one game plan. He plans to mix things up with punches, kicks, and relentless pressure to keep Ilia off balance. Arman believes this dynamic
about how you see a matchup with Topuria playing out.
I'm just taking down the whole just mauling and just to finish him on the ground. He's not gonna able to escape from me.
The wrestling and the takedowns are key.
Yeah, and my kicks, my wrestling, my ground and pound, and my strength. Boxing, he's good on one thing, on the boxing. But me, wrestling, kicks, ground and pound, and like the control time.
So the more well-rounded fighter you will be.
I mean, 4 versus 1, who's gonna win?
Sure.
If you're not gonna stay on his boxing distance, how he's gonna
approach will overwhelm Ilia and reveal who truly possesses the superior skills inside the octagon. Daniel Cormier has voiced strong support for Arman Tsarukyan as the next rightful title contender, stating that no one in the division has earned the opportunity more. According to Cormier, it's not Paddy or Geithja, it's Arman who's proven himself as prepared, consistent, and worthy. In Cormier's eyes, Arman has stayed at the top through sheer merit, and that's exactly why he deserves the next shot at the championship. Demetrius Johnson
can't wait to go there and to show like who's the Arman Tsarukyan and why I'm #1 contender, and that day I'm gonna be a world champion. So it's not just the wrestling. I'm a well-rounded fighter, and I'm not gonna just try to wrestle him. I'm gonna strike him. I'm gonna kick him. I'm gonna up kick him, and and like try to do. But yeah, obviously I'm not gonna try to box him. I'm gonna try to do like a real MMA fight, to show him wrestling, to punch him wrestling, to show him wrestling, to kick him,
has publicly backed Daniel Cormier's stance, voicing his frustration over the UFC's apparent decision to overlook Arman Tsarukyan. As a top contender and a candid critique of the organization, Johnson expressed disappointment in what he sees as the UFC's growing emphasis on marketability over merit. He agreed that Tsarukyan has done more than enough.
How anyone in this weight class can say that they should get a title shot over Arman Tsarukyan. He was the #1 contender for the last year. He was in line to fight for the belt in Los Angeles, and then it didn't happen. It was because his back went out, right? Some people were saying it was a weight issue. Well, today he stepped on the scale as a backup fighter and looked in phenomenal shape. It just feels like Arman Tsarukyan should be next to fight for the champion.
To earn a title shot and criticize the UFC for sidelining a legitimate contender in favor of more commercially appealing fighters. According to Johnson, Arman Tsarukyan is clearly one of the most skilled and well-rounded fighters in the lightweight division. He pointed out that Arman has consistently taken on top-level opponents and emerged victorious, demonstrating both grit and technical
Give it to Arman Tsarukyan.
This guy?
No, not Paddy. That's the right. It needs to be him. Arman Tsarukyan. I don't know. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is why I say it's a reality TV show. It's like, obviously, Arman Tsarukyan is the #1 contender. He's ranked #1, whatever you guys want to, go by the rankings. But they're forcing this fight with Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria just because it's probably going to sell more. But I think the rightful person who should be getting the next title shot at lightweight.
Excellence. From his powerful wrestling base to his constantly improving striking game, Johnson believes Arman is a complete fighter, someone who has paid his dues and risen through the ranks the hard way. For that reason, Johnson sees no justification for bypassing Tsarukyan in the title picture. However, Johnson argues that the UFC appears to prioritize fighters who bring attention, hype, and social media buzz over those who have actually earned their shot based on performance. He's
going into where Arman's good just to prove a point.
No, I think he's gonna knock Arman out. I don't think he cares to wrestle with anybody. I think he's gonna get himself in the right spot and try to knock everybody out.
Specifically called out names like Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria, suggesting that while they may be talented, their current popularity has more to do with promotional appeal than competitive achievement. Johnson referred to this trend as turning MMA into a reality show, where ticket sales and television ratings come before athletic merit. It's not about who's the best anymore.
Next for Ilia Topuria. Now, technically, it should be Arman Tsarukyan because he is truly the #1 contender. But they basically forced this Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria engagement because there is beef between those guys. They have had some exchanges before outside of the octagon. But this is where I had this hot take recently this week, is that I said the UFC is not a sport. Like, they get to dictate what they want to push, the narrative of what the fans want to see, which that's not what a sport is dictated on. And it's funny because my dad and my wife, Destiny, were watching the fights. They're like, what the
Johnson said in a recent interview, it's about who can sell the most tickets or bring in the most pay-per-view buys. That's what the UFC is pushing. And unfortunately, that means guys like Arman get passed up even when they've earned it. He went on to say that fighters like Tsarukyan are the backbone of the sport, dedicated athletes who train relentlessly, take on any challenge, and grow stronger with each fight. Yet they often get overlooked in favor of personalities who are more marketable, or who have built a larger following online. In Johnson's view,
the most likely to get the title.
I think Paddy is still most likely to get it right now. He's just gonna have to be fair with the number.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. Who's best suited to be the most competitive?
Arman,
Gaethje, Paddy,
view. That sends the wrong message to fighters and uns alike. That charisma matters more than capability. Johnson concluded his comments by urging the UFC to return to a more merit-based approach when it comes to title contention. He acknowledged the importance of promoting fights and building stars, but stressed that it shouldn't come at the expense of fighters who have done everything right inside the octagon.
100%. Here's why. Paddy might kick better. They might be close in that. But I think Arman will understand the range a little better, and he shoots better. I think he shoots better than Paddy. Yeah, I think Arman does the best against him just because he'll kick more high kicks, and he'll use the range a little better on the outside and shoot faster.
and scramble better.
Yeah, and scramble better. Paddy will just pull guard, and Ilia might even dominate him on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Well, I guess we're gonna
showdown with Ilia Topuria, emphasizing that he won't stick to just one game plan. He plans to mix things up with punches, kicks, and relentless pressure to keep Ilia off balance. Arman believes this dynamic approach will overwhelm Ilia and reveal who truly possesses the superior skills inside the octagon. Daniel Cormier has voiced strong support for Arman Tsarukyan as the next rightful title contender, stating that no one in the division has earned the opportunity more. According to Cormier, it's not Paddy or Gaethje, it's Arman who's proven himself as prepared, consistent, and worthy. In Cormier's eyes, Arman has stayed at the top through sheer merit, and that
you guys run it back again.
Especially with Black Mine.
You gotta get him down, right?
Yeah, look, that's what you want. You want to see what's going to happen with his gas tank. So even with Ilia, great fighter. Like a lot of the things he does, like I'm sure a lot of it's well trained, and then he's got so many good instincts as well. Like even him just shifting that way, he probably trained for that, but then just as soon as he wanted to square his hips up with the right hand, the power was there and put him in a safer position while he was firing too. So just little things like that he probably trains for, or it's just great instincts. But yeah, we want to see the gas tank, see what happens there. Because I thought Charles, when he was taking him down and forcing the sort of wrestle and the grapple, I felt like
That's exactly why he deserves the next shot at the championship. Demetrius Johnson has publicly backed Daniel Cormier's stance, voicing his frustration over the UFC's apparent decision to overlook Arman Tsarukyan. As a top contender and a candid critique of the organization, Johnson